Hey everyone, Rayo here, and today I am bringing you the Tier 4 Healbrand perspective to Nightmare, normal mode. I think I worded that really weird, but the Healbrand perspective to Tier 4 Nightmare. And that's what I meant to say. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to swap to Radiance here. Getting used to Radiance on this specific Fractal will do you pretty well, because Radiance is the ideal Healbrand build to use in CMs. If you were to choose any of the Healbrand builds, this is the most offensive, and it'll be good practice because the risk is pretty low and the reward is just being ready for CMs, and so that'll be good because this will help with burst via improving your party's DPS via giving the Bane Signet passive, and if you run with Dragon Hunters, then that allows them to not have to run perfect inscriptions, and they can write some, or they can run something else. So anyways, if that's incorrect on Dragon Hunters, then someone can correct me. I never play Dragon Hunter, but anyway, right here I'm going to boon stack. There we go. And then we're going to go in and clear ads. I'm going to go ahead and put a line of warding down. That way when stuff aggroes over to us, it just kind of puts them onto a wall. It looks like we have last laugh, so stability is going to be pretty helpful here because there are quite a bit of ads throughout this Fractal. Right here, I'm going to go ahead and stack boons again. I'm going to give Aegis. It looks like we CC'd. I should have used my Bane Signet earlier. Make sure to use your Bane Signet, like, pretty much so it at least covers the duration of the break bar. Ideally, you want to use it right at the start because you want to make sure that your party has that power damage for the duration of the break bar. Now, whenever the boss CCs, you want to make sure that you give Aegis or you give stability, or you can give both. Right here, I'm just going to go and support the party right here. I'm going to just basically blow my cooldowns. There we go. I'm going to use my F2 tome. There we go. And just support the party whenever they kind of stack together like that, because if the party's going to stack together, they're relying on you to heal, and if you can heal them sufficiently, they can DPS sufficiently, and then that it works out just fine. But yeah, basically what you want to do is when the boss is about to swipe, give Aegis. Ideally, you want to CC. You want to use your Bane Signet right away, and hopefully your party will CC right away like we did here. But if your party misses the CC for whatever reason and the boss does a swipe, you want to use an Aegis stack to avoid that so your party doesn't get knocked back and take a lot of damage. Now right here, there's the 3 capture points. The easiest way to do the capture points is the sides first, but always make sure you kill these bottom guys first because they will follow you up to the sides. One thing that can kind of give you like a little bit of a head start is making sure all the ads, even if they're not killed yet, are outside of the circle. And then you can kind of get a little bit of a head start on the capture points. And if you can DPS the ads while capturing the point, then that's going to make it so it's a little bit more effective for you guys, a little bit easier to capture. The way that the capture points work is while inside the capture points, I permanently have agony pretty much. There's maybe a split second of downtime between applications, but the agony doesn't do damage. It just reduces your healing by a lot. The red orbs do damage. So you want to kind of just follow the pattern of the red orbs to avoid damage. And if you're about to die, you can step out of the capture point, let the agony fall off and heal up, or wait for the blue orbs to come around. For some capture points, it might take a good relation, like a good balance between the two, but those blue orbs will heal you for 50% each orb, and it ignores the healing reduction from agony. Now right here, we are going to spawn this little roleplay section, wait for the boss to spawn, and then we are all going to wait out of combat, or we are going to GG if we're stuck in combat. That way we can get a good boon stack when we start the fight. There we go. So, charge mantras. That way we don't have to do the little roleplay thing, and we can get a much stronger start to the fight here. So, I'm going to go ahead and stack these boons. Always get into the habit of stacking boons. Always, 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 especially on Nightmare. And then right here, I'm going to try and get farthest west. I don't think I was, but if you're farthest west, then you can actually get control of this AoE that'll spawn hallucinations. So it's going to be the very first attack that he does, so I'll point it out. It looks like I actually got it. So this AoE right here, if you're standing in it, it's going to spawn nightmare hallucinations. For a lot of the times, most groups, you want to make sure that you avoid that. because those Nightmare Hallucinations and CMs do a lot of damage. And the way that you can bait it so that you have the AoE on you, make sure that you are standing the farthest west when the boss is interacted with at the start of the fight. That way, you can actually get control of the AoE, and as the Healbrand, it'll be up to you to like move it off the group if your group needs it to be moved off of them. This group doesn't really need it, especially in normal mode. The hallucinations don't do a lot of damage, but it'll just give you more control over how much damage people take, or potentially more control. So that was pretty clean. Those volatile hallucinations that target onto players, what you can do is, as they're about to come over to the group, you can drop F3 Resistance Tome, and that'll avoid the condition damage that they take, and that'll allow you to cleanse their conditions via blasting it with Staff 2 or Staff 3 and blast it with Staff 2, and that'll be good to clear off some conditions if you're not running the Condition Cleanse mantra, and that'll prevent the damage from conditions while you are cleansing those. Or it'll mitigate the damage, I should say. But anyway, moving on to this final fight, there's going to be like a little, I guess, like faux phase, like a false phase. We don't really have to worry about how much, I don't know, it's kind of like a little bit wonky, so we're just going to boon stack here. The boss is just going to take an insane amount of damage for the duration of the little pre-phase life, which is only until he hits 75%. And then the actual boss fight is going to start. Make sure you just Aegis any sort of the swipes. That way your party doesn't get knocked back. We can burst them down really quick. Now the real fight's going to start. And if you run CMs, this is where the fight actually starts all the time. There's no pre-phase. So the orb's going to happen. We're going to stand in the safety dome, swap staff, boon stack. And then pretty much when he's done with this orb, his break bar should be, if he didn't break it, then his break bar should be ready to go. Right here, you can jump over the shockwave, and then you can dodge onto the boss to avoid the damage. Avoid, not evoid. Then you can CC, make sure you use that Bane Signet. Get that nice little DPS boost for the party. And then at 66%, we're going to have to split up and capture some points. Right there, just jump. You can dodge. Dodging is good for Healbrand because you heal at the end of the dodge, so if anyone misses that jump or they take any damage during that phase, then that'll help to heal them back up. Now right here, capture points, I always start at the back right corner, quote unquote. There's no corners and circles, but if you can imagine a corner here, then that's where I stand. Now right here, just make sure you don't go out of your circle into someone else's circle to get those blue orbs, because that is how you sustain through these phases, is by getting those blue orbs. And as you can see, I'm just kind of sidestepping. And the general motion is I stand all the way to the right, I dodge left, and then I just gradually move back to the right. Now right here, I'm just going to be stacking boons. Bane Signet. Dropping some CCs. There we go. Let's burst the boss down. And once we hit 33%, it's going to be the same exact thing, except the orb rotation is going to be a little bit different. You can Aegis that pull. You can jump. And then you can dodge back onto the boss. Sidestep those swipes. You can also Aegis those swipes, but ideally people can just run through it. That'll save cooldowns. About to hit 33%. The tail swipe right there. Just make sure that you sidestep those. You can run through the boss's hitbox. Now, as you can see, there's kind of like a corner here now. This is where it actually starts at 66% in challenge mode. So basically, I'm just keeping to the right, and then once I have to move left, I dodge left, and I jump the shockwave, and I just move right back to this corner. That is pretty much all I am doing. And that is what I do the whole entire time through both of those capture point phases. There we go. I'm just going to stack boons, and I'm going to wait for this dome. After this dome goes down, I'm going to CC. There we go. And once we hit 15%, he's going to go off to the side. We can just stand in the dome. If he is channeling an AoE or anything while he changes phases, you can ignore that AoE. Now right here, I should have had stability, but make sure you just give stability. That way your party doesn't have to worry about being swiped or swooped out of the dome. And that'll just make it easier for your group. But anyways, guys, that HP is so bad. had it down. Anyways, guys, that is Nightmare Null Mode on Healbrand with the Radiance build. So if you have any questions, make sure to drop them in the comments down below. If you want to check out the build that I'm running, then make sure to check out my build video in the video description, as well as the rest of the Tier 4 Healbrand PoV playlist that I put together. Anyways, guys, if you want to subscribe for more content, that'll help support the channel, as well as a like on this video. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and this is Rayo. I'll catch you next time. Take care.